Hello everyone, welcome to DevLead. Today I'm going to show you how to create animations with CSS. Mainly there are two types of animations with CSS, transitions and keyframes. Transitions are basically animations that tell CSS how to change classes within an element. So imagine if you have an element and the element has an old class and you want to transition from the old class to the new class, but you don't want this to happen instantly. You want this to happen within a certain time, within a certain time function, and you do that with a transition element here, and I'll show you how. So as you can see in my code, I have a button element with an ID of button, and I use this to basically refer to this element when I'm writing my script. And the button element has two classes, the old class and the button class. The button class is basically the class that showcases, I can even actually change this to the ID, like this, and just get rid of the button class entirely. So you'll just have an old class and you have a button class. And what this does is basically the button ID holds all the basic information, all the basic styling information you need for your element, and your transition should be in here, not in the classes where you want to transition to and from, because as you transition to and from these classes, the transition element disappears, and therefore you're not going to have that seamless transition, or animated transition that you want. So it's going to happen instantly. I can even show you the bug if we have time. So in my script, I basically have this document.getElementById button, and I just give it the element button, the ID button, excuse me, and I add an event listener to it. I can just actually extract this and write a const here, and just name it button. Bouton, and take this and put this whole thing in here. Boom. Now I'm just going to refer to button and give my button an event listener, which is a click event. And what this does is basically it tells tells JavaScript to listen to any click that happens, and every time there is a click event, run this arrow function for me. And what the arrow function contains, and because it's just like there's only one argument here, I didn't use these like curly brackets. If you want if you want to write multiple lines, and if you want your function to do multiple things, you have to put these curly braces here. But since I'm just gonna do one thing, which is replace the old class with the new class, I only basically I didn't need the curly braces or brackets. I don't know if they're braces or brackets, whatever you call them. So if I save this, right, and show you the results, what you're going to see is that we have my awesome button over here, and if I click it, it changes. Now I can even make this better by adding an if clause over here. So let's say if my button class list, let me see if there's a has or contains the old class. I want you to replace, oh my god, I want you to replace my old class with my new class. Else, I'm not gonna write an if statement for that because like it's unnecessary. There's only two ways: it's either the old class or the new class. Else, I'm just gonna copy this, add an event listener. I want you to replace my new class with my old class. Now, technically, this should work in a way that if my button is like this, right, it contains the old class, and I click it, now it contains the new class, and when I click it, it doesn't happen. I don't know why. Maybe I should remove the event listener later. Let me see. Button remove, not remove event listener. So I'm gonna say click. Click. I hate it when it doesn't. It doesn't give me the what's it called? It doesn't give me these things, and I feel like I'm writing my code wrong. So whatever. Now it should work. Let me see. No, it still doesn't work. Why? What's going on in here, man? Oh yeah, okay. Maybe I should just run the script if the event listener is here, and yeah, I think this should work. No, you should first remove the event listener before and do this now. Let me see. Hopefully. My god, it still doesn't work. Okay. Hold on. What should I do? What should I do? How do I remove the event listener? Okay. I'm replacing old with new. And should I add an event listener? Maybe I can just create a function. Let me see. Maybe it's because I'm just adding too many event listeners and I shouldn't add event listeners. And, but hold on. That doesn't change anything. Oh, yeah, I know what to do. This is a silly mistake. My if clause should be inside my, my event listener, not outside of it. And this thing should come say here, and this document.get element class listing should come in here, whatever, and this. Yeah, so don't make silly mistakes like I did. Basically, you only need one event listener, and if there is and this event listener basically looks for clicks, and let me see if that actually works. Boom, bam, yes. So now, if you can see, I can even make this better by adding an if clause in my event listener that looks for whether or not the button class list contains my old class. So basically, this means if my button looks like this, it's going to transition it into this. And if my button looks like this, it contains the new class, like this, in the code. It contains the new class. I didn't specify the if because there's only two other conditions. It replaces the new class with the old class. Now, if I go back here, boom. This happens all the time. Now, this is one way you can create transitions in CSS. Stay tuned for part 2, where I talk about keyframes and how infinite loops or a given number of loops, you can run an animation on a given number of loops within an element.